what I want to do right now, it might seem kind of weird, but I want to take this time to just have you reflect for a moment. This is one of my habits that I do. We're talking about habits today. We're talking about routines today. We're talking about emotional resilience, talking about goal setting today, all those things in one, because it's very necessary if you're trying to become the greatest version of yourself, if you're trying to take your life to the next level. But one of my habits that I do is, obviously you know about protecting your peace, but I like to reflect. You know, in this journey of bettering our lives, we can come to a place where we're so focused on where we want to be and what we want to do that we don't actually realize, this is my problem. Like, I'll be straight up with you. You're so focused on the destination that you don't appreciate the journey. And so by you putting in this work for these past 3 months, some of you have been with me for over a year, some of you have been following me for 10 years. So whenever you became a rehab member, I want you to did it. I don't want you to think about where you have to go and what we're going to do today and how far you have to go to meet your goal. Forget all that. I want you to appreciate how far you've actually come. Take some deep breaths in, full breaths. Be conscious of your breaths. When your breaths are short, it usually means you're going through anxiety or you're dealing with depression. I want you to sit up tall and take full breaths of life because you're a full human being. Thank that person. Thank yourself for going on this journey of greatness. So you can open your eyes up right now. Some of y'all might have been looking at me the whole time. But hopefully you really took that moment in, and it's necessary. You know, we're going to talk about habits today, and today is one of these days where This is what separates people. When I look at my life, and there's so many habits in my life that I'm trying to better myself, I'm always thinking about how can I level up my habits? Because I'll tell you right now, the reflection of your life is a result of your consistent habits. So if your life sucks, it's because your habits aren't good. And I know that might sting a little bit, but it's true. When I go to, my life is down, even in what I do now, I realize that my habits aren't good. And there's things that I have to change. One challenge that I want to present to you all right now as we go through habits is I want you to think about this. I want you to find one habit that you're not doing. Maybe it's the habit of protecting your peace. Maybe it's the habit of gratitude. Maybe it's the habit of reading. Maybe it's the habit of serving. Maybe it's the habit of appreciation. Whatever it is, I want you to find one new habit. I do this every single month. I work on one new habit every single month to apply to my life, because guess what? If I do it every month, that's 12 new habits I have to my life. If you have 12 new habits that you don't have right now, I can guarantee you that your life will grow, okay? Let's dive into this. Understanding habits. Ask yourself this question right now, because I know you have a vision of doing whatever it is in your life. It's so many TIC members. I don't know everybody's goal, everybody's vision, and what you want to do with your life. But I know so many of you, every one of you watching this, you have something that you want to do with your life, right? You have somewhere that you want to go. I want to start my own business. Great. I want to heal my life. Great. I want to become the best physical shape. Great. I want to be a motivational speaker. Great. All those things are possible. But the question that you must ask yourself, you got to get very clear and decisive on. I'm not talking about foggy. I'm talking about clear and very decisive on is, are you willing to develop the habits it takes consistently for you to become the person that you want to be? Because it's easy to dream it. It's easy to dream it. Dreaming is the first step. Dreaming is easy. The people say, I got a dream, I got a dream, I got a dream. That's great. We should all have dreams. I had a dream last night. But dreaming doesn't mean that you're ever going to make that thing your reality, because the thing that most people run into and most people see is that, dang, this is a lot of hard work. I don't know if I'm willing to do it. When people see my life and it's like, oh, I have a dream of being like Trent and being a motivational speaker, then when I bring them in a day of my life, they're like, so I don't know about that no more. So again, ask yourself this question. Are you willing to develop the habits it takes for you to become the person that you want to be? All right, so number 2, we're going to talk about and understand how to build habits, right? And understanding your habits in general. It's something I have to realize in my own life, that comfort is the best friend of bad habits. When I look at all the bad habits, when I deconstruct all the bad habits in my life, it's usually dealing with something with me running to comfort, the easiest thing. So it could be me waking up in the morning, grabbing my phone. There's comfort in that. Maybe it's a significance thing, me checking my phone. Maybe it's a thing of me actually just doing something, and feeling some type of likes or some type of joy, in the small things. And so I want you to think about that for a second. Like with all your bad habits, I want you to think about, are they related to being comfortable in your life? Are they related to, because with our brain wants to find the easiest thing, right? Our brain is trying to protect us in the easiest way. So our brain is not thinking about uncomfortable things, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Our brain is thinking about, what can I run to quick to get this feeling away from me? Okay? Let's talk about something I like to call the rehab loop when it comes to habits. And it's a loop that a lot of people go through, the habit loop. And the first thing is emotional triggers, okay? And emotional triggers is just when you feel triggered by certain things. And I think one of the best things that you can do is have prevention when it comes to these emotional triggers, knowing that, okay, if I go in this environment, I'm going to feel some type of way. If I go around these people, I'm going to feel some type of way. And we'll talk about in a minute, maybe you need to remove certain things in your life, but I understand that there's certain environments that you can't get away from. So you're emotionally triggered. And there's ways to strengthen certain emotions and not get the same response, but you're a human being. There's nothing I can tell you to be like, okay, this is a formula to never feel sad. I want you to feel your emotions. That makes you a human being. But what I don't want you to do is to create bad habits from your emotions. So the first part in that section is you're emotionally triggered. When you're emotionally triggered, and think about this with your life right now, what do you usually do? What do you go to? When you're sad, what do you go to? Some people go to eating. Some people go to drinking. Some people go to drugs. Some people go back to a bad relationship that they're trying to move on from. And even speaking about relationships, it happens so much when you're lonely, when you are bored, you go back to the thing that's familiar. You go back to the thing that's comfortable, because trying to progress by yourself is uncomfortable. And so when it comes to addictions, drugs, alcohol, it's the same thing, right? You feel sad, you feel anxious, you feel whatever. So you go to this action, okay? So that's the second part of this, the action. And the third part is the emotional relief that you get from the action, okay? So if we look at this whole loop, we have to disrupt the action, right? That's the thing that we have to change, because the emotions are gonna be there, and there's nothing wrong with the relief. You wanna feel relief from being sad. You wanna feel relief from, being upset. You wanna feel relief with being stressed out. Nothing wrong with that. What matters is the in-between, the action. And so you have to change these things with your life, because if you keep allowing your emotions to control you in a way of you going back to these bad habits that do nothing for your life, I'm gonna be the first person to tell you, and I know this might sting a little bit, I know this might hurt a little bit, but I'm gonna be the first person to tell you that your life is not gonna change. If you keep doing the same exact things that you've been doing, the same exact habits that have gotten you nowhere, your life is not gonna change. If you keep doing the same sucky habits that are keeping you, and I know I'm talking to from a place of Trent, that's easier said than I get it. I know it's hard to change things. Trust me, I know it's hard to change stuff. But you gotta have an honest and real conversation with yourself and ask yourself, if I keep on doing this, it's keeping me from my greatness. So you gotta find an action change. So one of mine was, I'm gonna just be transparent with you. When I used to get stressed, I turned to drinking, I turned to clubbing, I turned to all these things. And if you do these things, I'm not saying that you're a bad person. But for me, where I said I wanted to go in my life, I knew there were certain things I can no longer do. I knew there were certain things that I had to let go of personally. So when I feel stressed now, you already know what I do. If you follow me, what y'all do, what do? Y'all probably saying, you go protect your peace. Absolutely. I'll go out and run, because running is therapy for me. I have a friend, his name is Dave Hollis. He talks about this in his new book, Get Out Your Own Way. And we actually had a conversation with him, and he was telling me the same thing, like he was an alcoholic. And so every time that he would go, feel stressed or depressed, whatever, he would pick up a bottle. And him picking up the bottle, yeah, it would relieve that stress for the moment. It would be a temporary fulfillment, but it was causing so many other problems in his life. And so he traded in the bottle for a pair of shoes. He started running. Running became his therapy. And so when he felt these emotions, when he was triggered, he decided to go run. And I like to call this the fire escape method. I'm not sure if we talked about this in trainings before. I know maybe last year we did. But you want to develop this method in your life, your fire escapes. Just like when you go on a plane, they're there to tell you if an emergency happens, this is what you do. And the same thing with fire escapes in my life. I like to say that because when a fire is happening, right, you know where to go. This is the fire escape in a hotel. This is how you get out of here. And the same thing with my life. I know where to go. So when these fires happen, these emotional triggers happen in my life, I now know exactly where I need to go. Do I fail sometimes? Absolutely. I'm not perfect. And the result that I get, absolutely, it's a temporary thing. But I find myself beating myself up because I know that maybe that action isn't gonna, even though if it's not too bad, it's not leading me to where I wanna go. And so you have to have that, not consistency, but a congruency, right, from where you wanna go with your habits. So evaluate that right now. Ask yourself, of all the habits that I'm doing, can these habits, if you drew a line, would these habits lead you to where you want to go, or would these habits lead you to where you're at today? And if your lines are going to where you're at today from your habits, you have to replace these habits in your life. So you might be saying, Trent, okay, well, how can I create good habits? Well, this is just the rehab habit process for me. This is number 3 we're going to talk about right now. It's PEC. This can look like any way you want it to look like, but for me, I always operate in 3 things, okay? Peace is number 1. That's what the P stands for. I like to say PEC. I like to have initials for stuff. Makes me remember. But the P is for peace. I have to have habits in my life that are constructed for peace, because Listen, I don't want to have to go to rehab if I can go to prehab, right? I want to be preventative in my life. So I want to prevent stress. I want to prevent these things as much as I can. I want to prevent anger as much as I can. I want to prevent, and prevention is preparing your day. And we're going to talk about routines next, but preparing your day for peace. So what habits in your life do you have that prepare you for peace? Meditation. Maybe it's reading. Maybe it's going on a nature walk. I'm always trying to get y'all in nature, by the way. Maybe it's sitting on your porch, feeling the breeze. You know, whatever it is for you, I would definitely have these habits in my life that I say I want to feel in my life. So I want to feel peace. So if I say I want to feel it, then I got to construct habits to make me feel that peace. The second habit that I have, that the second category for myself is energy. Okay? In doing the work that I do with a dog, 3 kids, a wife, you guys, right? There's so much going on in my life. In the fall, I'm coaching Tristan. I'm doing so much. And I know if I don't construct my day with habits for energy, then I know I'm going to burn out. It's happened to me before. It happens. I know I'm going to burn out. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be stressed. I'm not going to be able to show up the way I need to show up. So today, I knew I was doing this training. And it's actually night right now. It's actually like 8 o'clock that I'm doing this training. And I knew I had to create the energy all day for me to show up the greatest version of myself. So what did I do? I went out and ran. What did I do? I made sure I ate right. And so these are energy habits. For you, it might be, okay, I'm going to work out. That creates energy. Okay, what am I putting in my body? And this is not a nutritional teaching, but I'm going to be honest with you. If your body, think about your body as a car, right? Would you put sugar in your car tank? No, you're going to put gas because you know that's how your car runs. You got to start looking at your body and your life like that. You have to put the things in your life. And listen, you don't have to be perfect. I have my cheat days and everything like that, and I feel it. But you have to put the right energy, right, in your body. If you say you care about taking your life to the next level. Also, habits of energy. What you're around. Again, I'm about to talk about know your circle. We'll talk about that later on. But seriously, what you surround your life around is going to affect you. So if you surround your life around stress, chaos, confusion, all these things, then you're not going to have the energy that you need. Okay, so maybe you say, okay, well, who can I get around that gives me energy? Who can I get around that fuels my soul? Who can I get around that uplifts my spirit? Who can I get around that's contagious? Okay, so that's E for energy. And there's so many things I can talk about. But I want this to be about you. You should be writing these down. Okay, what habits can I create from energy? Write down 5. Okay, what habits can I create for peace? Write down 5. And the last one, C. What habits can I create for confidence? Okay, for me, confidence is everything. You know, and we did the confidence training in January. If you didn't go watch it, go watch it. I don't know what you're doing. You pay for this, so go watch it. But we talked about the confidence training in January, and confidence is everything. I mean, even if you're 90% confident, that might not be enough. And so I'm making sure I have habits in my life for confidence. And so some of the things that I do, which I've talked about before, part of the whole protect your peace thing, the 4 A's, which you guys know a lot about, is I'm making sure I start my day off with accomplishment. And so I want to have habits in my day, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, that I know I can accomplish. And for me, a lot of these kind of tie into each category. But for me, it's going to work out. It's going to run. It's going to complete something. It's pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. Because I know when I'm outside of my comfort zone, because remember, bad habits like comfortable things. I believe great habits like to make you uncomfortable, right? You're challenging yourself. You're doing something new. So when I'm outside of my comfort zone, I know that I'm growing. I know I'm challenging myself. And there's no better thing in the world to build confidence when you actually go do something you thought you couldn't do. That happened in my 10K race a few weeks ago. I ran the fastest time of my life in a 10K, and I challenged myself. I got outside my comfort zone. So remember, habits for peace, habits for energy, habits for confidence, okay? Moving on to the last part of habits, then we're going to move into a lot of other stuff, okay? Last part for habits. Number 4. I learned this in sports, the power of it. And it might seem so simple, but a lot of you are doing this and you're not even conscious of it. And maybe you are. You're in a routine, okay? You are in a routine. I think a coach told me this. He said, Trent, show me your routine. If you show me your routine, I'll show you what you truly care about. I'll show you if you truly care about becoming the best football player ever. I'll show you if you truly care about how I would put it to you, if you truly care about becoming the greatest version of yourself. Your routines expose you. Your routines expose your seriousness. So if I was to come look at your routines, what would your routines say about your life? Would it say, yeah, your routines are a perfect reflection that you want to make the world respect your greatness? Or would your routines show that you're okay with living an average life? Think about that for a second. Be honest, because I realize that in football, the importance of it, because even from the mindset game of routines, it's like routines are set up to let you know, I like to say that it's game time. And so my routine for a football game, I still remember it like it was yesterday. The night before, I would get my toes done. It's funny. Literally, I would go get a pedicure for my feet, and y'all might be, but hey, man, you got to take care of your feet. I would get my pedicure. I would get to bed early. Then I would get up. I would go for a walk, okay? I walk early just to get blood flowing in my body. I would eat right. I'd do all these things. And when it came to game, I made sure I would lay out my uniform every single time, because if you look good, you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. Shout out to Deion Sanders, by the way. Y'all know Deion, man. I'm all about that. I'm all about on the football field. Hey, I know some of y'all be like, oh, it's a prima donna. Nah, you got to look good. You can't be looking trash. You can't be looking trash. You got to look good. That's the first step. I tell Tristan all the time, I get Tristan's outfit ready for football. I'm like, nope, you look trash right now. You got to make sure that you look good. So I would lay my uniform out. Like it was the first day of school. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I would lay it out, be cool. I would sit there. I would sit, put my headphones on. I would listen to a certain playlist. I had a certain playlist. I would go out on the football field. I would run around. I would get sprints in. I would look at the crowd. If we were on the weight crowd, I would talk noise to them. Just doing it if we're at home. I would dap people up. I would stretch. Then I would come back in. I would get in the hot tub, get in the cold tub, get in the hot tub, get in the cold tub, end on hot. Get back to my locker, get dressed. I had my other playlists. I had the pregame list, and I had okay, it's time to get it list. And a lot of the things, I can take an hour talking about this. It excites me. And I would go out there, and I would ball out, right? I knew my exact thing, right? 2 pumps on the chest. I had this little thing I did this. This means standing ovation. All those things, right? I'm letting you know, all standing ovation. Don't y'all, well, I might even get into that. I might even give y'all's mind that, okay? But I had standing ovation. I had all these things that I did. Those were my routines. And the point I'm trying to, I know I drove that out long, but the point I'm trying to make is your routine, those routines let me know at that time, it's game time. It's time to go. And so in my life now, it's the same thing. Before I hit stage, same routine most of the time. Same playlist. Not every single day, I'm not gonna lie to you. As best as I can, I have those routines. So what are your routines saying about your life? And this is just a bonus. I'll put this as 5. Your calendar is everything. Okay? And this is something that I've struggled with, like majorly, because I'm a person that doesn't like structure. I'll just be honest, I don't. I feel like I'm in prison when I have structure. But I understand how important structure is when you're running a business or when you're trying to grow something. Your calendar will expose if you truly are cherishing your time. And I had to realize this because I was all over the place. I would be like, okay, I can just wing it. But what I started to do, I started to be committed to my calendar. I started to be disciplined to my calendar. And so I heard once before, I don't know who said this, but it said time is the most valuable thing, right? So if you truly care about your life, right, it will show in how you spend your time. What you truly care about shows in your time. And so if I was to look at the calendar of your life, what would it say? Would it show that you're working, blocked, focused, scheduled out time on your dreams and your goals? Because listen, the main excuse that people have is I don't have time. Child, please, like get away from that excuse. You got time. It's how you're spending your time. Maybe you got to sacrifice your weekends. Now I know some of y'all about to turn off now, right? Now I got to sacrifice. Maybe you got to sacrifice your weekends. You know, if you're 20-some years old, 30 years old, whatever, 40, 50, if you're still going out, to each his own, 60, the 60 and up club, I feel you. But maybe you got to sacrifice your weekends. And that's a part of it. I had to sacrifice my weekends. Because when I said I cared about something, I said I had no time, but I was spending 5, 6, 7 hours in the club. I was spending probably 20 hours on the weekend having fun. Celebrate. So funny, celebrating popping bottles. I had nothing to celebrate, but I'm there popping bottles, celebrating like I just won a championship game when my life is lost. So I have to be honest with myself. I say, you know what? I have to win my weekend. I have to start putting in the work on the weekend. If my week is that busy, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're tired, I get it. I'm not telling you to lose sleep or any of that. Maybe that's a part of it. But how you spend your time truly shows if you care about your life. So look at your calendar, write it down, and stick to those times. Schedule out an hour. Okay, I'm gonna read this book for an hour. Okay, I'm gonna listen to Straight Up Trent's podcast for 30 minutes on every single Wednesday. I'm gonna do this on Thursday. And you'll start to see progression that you're making in your life. Okay, so we're now about to move on to goal setting. I'm about to change your mindset when it comes to goal setting, but I really hope that you got this habit training. Like, it's simple. I didn't want to sit here and confuse you. It is simple, right? You understand habits. You understand that bad habits live in comfort zones. You understand when you're comfortable, you're going to do something, or when you're having a bad habit, it usually means that you did something that was comfortable. And so how do you change that? You change the action. You're going to be emotionally triggered. You change the action so you can get the same result that you want. Okay? And then remember, set your habits up for peace. Set your habits up for energy. Set your habits up for confidence. Your routines are everything. And be a master of your calendar. Be a master of your time, because your time, how you spend your time, truly shows what you care about.